ready for this? Y'all 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 ready for this?
What's up, party people of the SFL? What's going on tonight? How you doing? I hope you can hear me well. We had some issues with the timer, so I just killed it. That's what I do. If it doesn't work out, I just kill it. I kill things. Hey, welcome to the big show tonight. The Big 5-0 show. 50 episodes of Axis Live. I see all kinds of names that I'm used to seeing in here. The killer of comedy. Hey-yo. Only when you're on the show, Cam. And yes, Benji, I'm all grown up. I see lots of party people in the chat. I will absolutely get to all of you momentarily, but I want to say a humongous thank you for tuning in tonight, and welcome all of you to episode 50 of Axis Live. I'm your host, Dave Axis. I'm really excited about tonight's show. I mean, who would have thunk that we would still be here going strong with these kind of numbers 6 months later, like 6 months ago when we rolled this bad boy out. I can't thank you all enough for being in here and supporting the show the way you do, and I appreciate it. You better get to us, Dave. Yeah, Nate, don't worry, bro, I will. But before that, I've got a little bit longer monologue tonight. I have a lot of thank yous that I want to get to. A lot of thank yous in order tonight. So first and foremost, I want to thank my amazingly incredible, beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful wife, Lisa, who has been nothing but supportive throughout this entire process of starting this show and the entire last 6 months of this show. Not only has she been supportive, but she's been active. She's been helping me out behind the scenes as well as coming on the show a few times, including, ladies and gentlemen, later tonight she'll be on. So you get that treat in just a bit tonight as well. Next, I want to thank Mr. Cameron Irvine. I mean, honestly, without him creating the SFL, I wouldn't even have this show. But in addition to that, he's also been extremely supportive of the show as well, and he's also been on a ton of our shows. He's always in the chat, which is always fun, especially with the banter between him and I. So I really appreciate that, Cam. I appreciate your support of the show. I'd also like to thank everyone's favorite quarterback that you love or that you love to hate. As I've mentioned several times on this show before, I'm very thankful to Johnny Pickler for helping me get started in learning the ropes to putting on a show like this. Those couple shows we did back, I think, maybe 7 months ago now, they were invaluable to me, and I'm eternally grateful to him for responding to me when I reached out and asked him for help, and he helped me. So, Johnny, thank you. I appreciate that. I also want to thank the handful of guys who first started with me and gave this show some content to start off with, and have continued to be the backbone of this show for the last half of the year. From Sim Sports Inc., Mr. Thomas Smith, Frank the Franchise Wade, Eagle Mondavi, Jeff Gagne, and Mike Twinscrew. Also, Cam Curtis and his crew from Epic Esports have helped out as well on several occasions. And we have our show regulars like Coach Craven, Eddie Gage, Benji Madsen, Chad Rowland, Slyn Shady, Charles Doherty, Nacho Sicario, Greg Soto, and most recently Tyler Falk and Jack Brown. There is a lot of people that make this show what it is, and I'm just grateful and thankful to each and every single one of them. I also want to throw a special thanks out to Jack's Data for always getting me their spreads and over-unders in time for my show. And of course, right? I can't talk about show regulars without mentioning the number one show regular of all time on the show, the man who is here by my side every single show, the wisest man in the SFL, Gunny. Him and his pearls of wisdom, and it has become a staple of the show. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves him. So thank you, Gunny, and everyone else that I just mentioned for making this show what it is. Let me also say thank you to anyone out there that's listening who has ever been a panelist or a guest or come on the After Dark portion of the show for your contribution to Access Live. Again, without all of you, this is not the show that it's become. I want to shout out some the other shows of the SFL and thank them for not only plugging my show on their show, but also for appearing on my show. Miss Ashley Jackson, Coach again, Nelson Lozano, and Kramer Jackman. Also, two newcomers to the game in both Thomas Smith and Tyler Falk, whose show will be starting next Wednesday. I reserved this final individual thank you to the two people who have helped me the most on this show and with this show. Of course, I'm referring to Winkler and Eagle. As all of you know, Eagle has helped me start up the Access Live Discord server. He's pretty much managed the entire thing, including running all of the Diva of the Week voting, helping organize panelists for the show. He's also done a lot of other stuff behind the scenes, and helping Wink as well behind the scenes. Plus, he's been a panelist on the show regularly, so he's just done a lot, and I thank him. And then there's Wink. Who I couldn't remember. I didn't know how to pronounce his first name in the very beginning 6 months ago, so I used to call him Fonzie because his last name was Winkler. And so I just thought, Henry Winkler, Fonzie, just made it easy to remember in my head. Since then, he has become Wink to me. He has done... I mean, what can I say about the guy who produces the show, creates most of the graphics, showed me how to use OBS, runs the show OBS from time to time when I need it, changes things like on the fly during the show. He answers all of your questions in the show chat and makes sure he gets them to me. He keeps track of numbers during the show. He grills our guests on the After Dark portion. That's the last person you want asking you a question on this show in the After Dark portion, that's for sure. He puts up with all my crazy ideas, all my stupid questions, and he always comes through to make the show even better than it already is. So A huge thank you to Wink. I mean, that's the only thing you can say at this point, right? Is thank you, Wink, and thank you, Eagle, for all that you two have done to make this show as successful as it is. And finally, I have one last humongous thank you to all of you, the party people of the SFL, the party people of Access Live. Without all of you, there's no show. There's no party on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. I have said many, many times on this show that my favorite part of Access Live is you guys. It's you in the chat. It's the party people who take a few hours a week out of their lives to listen to me and my guests yap about the SFL and other things. Those of you who are extremely active and interactive in the show chat, who give to this show with your comments, your questions, your humor, debating on after dark topics, all of that stuff, and most importantly, are here at 9 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday to support me, support the show, and support the content that we put out week after week, show after show. So thank you, SFL Nation. Thank you, party people of Access Live, for all of your love, your support over the last 6 months and 50 episodes. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And that's enough of the mushy stuff. All right, so let's get the party started. Let's see who the party people are in the house tonight. I'm gonna scroll back. Man, you guys are talking. You guys are yapping more than I'm yapping. There's so much to go. Scroll back here. All right, let's see who we got. We got Freddie, Bo Martin Jr., Jason France, Chucky B, CB12, Bob Funk, the lovely Pink Lisa. Charles is here. Will Todd, Art Vandalay, Bob Funk, Nate Hall, Twin Screw. Who else we got here? A lot of repeats. Nacho's in the house. Cliff Grizzly, good to see you, bro. Great game the other night. Cregan's here. Good to see you, Tom. Good luck in the draft as well. Nelson is here. Cam is here. Bayou City Chef is back. Ray Ray's in the house. Extra Blue X, you better be here, bro. Doug Britton's in his house. Who else we got? Benji Matson, of course. Chucky B, if I didn't already say you. Tyler Falk. Zach Holdorf. The Riddler's back. Soto. Jack Lewis. Man, there's a lot of you in here tonight. Glad to see everybody. I'm glad because we got a great show. Evan Lacey is here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got... who else? Is that about it? Let me see. Who am I missing? Demora Gaming is here. I don't know who you are, but thanks for being here. I think it's the first time I've ever seen your name. The Rapid Raccoon, as always, in the house. Good to see you as well. And it looks like Paul Dillavow is here. Coach. And I think that's about it. Oh, Dwayne. I saw Dwayne sneak in there. Great. Oh, greatone.com. Been seeing him a lot. Jimmy Hazard's here. Man, we got a lot of you. Kendra Hall, good to see you. I saw Nate's name like 3 or 4 times before I saw you. Bailey 030 is here, and Dion Hawkins. There you go. I got everybody. All right. So welcome everybody. Let's get this party started. Let's start introducing some people. We've got some people on the panel that are going to talk SFLm minor league stuff. I said Jimmy Hazard, bro. Jimmy Hazard. I said Jimmy Hazard. You got to. I must have gone by real fast. We've got some people that are just going to talk about the SFL minor league. Everybody's going to share their thoughts on the show over the last 6 months. But for tonight, just panel-wise, actually, I'm just going to introduce everybody who's actually on here. There will be other people calling in later when we get to the After Dark portion. First in alphabetical order, who do we got? Benji Matson's in the house. Benji, you're back. Good to see you. Welcome back to the show.
Heyo.
Heyo. We got Mr. I don't know. I heard he's going to be on the cover of a calendar or something. Coach Craven's here with us. What's up, Coach?
I can neither confirm nor deny the calendar, but it's always a pleasure to be here, Dave.
All right. Thank you, bro. The owner of Tulsa is here. Dion, what's going on, bro? How are you doing?
Hey, what's good? I'm doing good. What's up, SFL? I'm just here tuned in with y'all chilling.
Good. Glad to see you. Glad you're here. The SFL Offensive Player of the Year, Bryant Dynasty is in the house. Dynasty, what's up, bro?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
I'm on.
Good to see.
I'm doing good, Dave.
Good to see you, bro. Glad to have you back. Mr. Arizona, everything, the Hall of Famer Eddie Gage is with us. Eddie, what up, though?
What up, though? How y'all doing? I'm out here chilling.
That's
I'm
good.
out here in my hotel room looking at the Atlantic Ocean, looking real good tonight.
What city are you in tonight, Eddie?
I'm out here somewhere uh, outside of LA. I forgot what the name of the damn town I'm in, but yeah, I'm out here.
All right. Also, back with us and revealing his brand new 3-round mock draft. Frank the Franchise Wade is here. Frank, glad to have you back. How you doing, bro?
I'm glad to be back, doing wonderful. Have a surprise for the SFL Nation at some point in the show.
Uh-oh. I don't know. A surprise. All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. More breaking news here on Axis Live. Frank the Franchise Wade with some breaking news and surprising news coming up. The offensive coordinator for my beloved, glorious Lone Star Glory, Greg Soto's back in the house. What up, Soto?
What's going on, Dave? Man, I'll tell you what. If I knew that I was going to be on the show more often, I would have joined LSG a long time ago, man.
Yeah, don't even go there, bro, because I told you to join us before. The wisest man in the SFL, Gunny's back with us as always. Gunny, how are you doing tonight?
Good. Happy 50th show, Dave. Congratulations.
Thank you, Gunny. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. We have Mr. Ross Napoli is back. And you know what, Ross? I'm sorry. You guys changed positions so much in Louisiana. I think you're the GM now, right? Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Dude, you guys have so many people with so many positions over there. It's hard to keep track. So welcome back to the show. Glad to have you back.
Thank you very much. I'm always excited to be here. I think it's like my third or fourth time on, and I enjoy it every time. I'm looking forward to it.
You're going to become a regular before you know it, like all these other guys. There you go. And last, certainly not least, the man who called the SFLm championship game on Sunday night and helps us with all of our minor league information here on the show. Mr. Tyler Falk is back with us. Tyler, what's going on?
Thank you, as always, Dave, for having me on. Congratulations on 50 shows, and here's to 50 more.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Oh, look, I messed up all these graphics. Look at that. Boom. I didn't get the party people graphic. Boom. I didn't get the You know what? Hey, everybody, we might have to just hang up and start over so I can do this right. What do you think? We're 20 minutes in, and I'll just start over? Or not? All right. Let's talk real quick. We had a post-championship game show Sunday night where we broke everything down. We had guests from both teams. We pretty much exhausted everything there was to say about the game. However, some of you may have missed the game. Some of you may have missed the show. So I just want to briefly touch on a couple things on the SFLm championship game. I know you already heard from Coach and Eddie and Tyler the other night. So let me see. Benji, let me go to you first. Were you able to watch the game on Sunday night?
I was able to catch the exciting beginning and the exciting conclusion of the game.
The conclusion's one thing. So tell me about the conclusion of the game and how exciting that was, almost on the level of an SFL game.
Yeah, there was definitely some pump for that game. That was exciting. I remember watching the first championship game last season as a new recruit in the league, and that was exciting. And this SFLm number 2, it was extremely exciting. I thought I could feel the heat coming off that game. It was super exciting. So I think the league performed well. It was an awesome game to top it all off. Of course, I was rooting for the Fuel there as a Birmingham alum, but they couldn't quite take it home. So congratulations to the Adams. But I thought it was an awesome game, excellent atmosphere. It sure is great to see the SFLm doing so well.
Right. Dion, let me bring you in for a second. Were you able to catch the game on Sunday night?
Yeah, I caught most of it. I was kind of in and out. Had to go make a beer run in the middle of the snow, but besides that, yeah, I caught most of it.
That sounds like a problem. Tell us from an owner's point of view how you felt about the competition level of the championship game on Sunday versus the championship game in the first SFL minor league season.
It was great. You can tell that the progression really made a difference. And as an owner, that's what we want to see. You look for players that can, would potentially fit in your scheme. So if somebody going across the middle, that they can make a catch in traffic or make a big time open field tackle, and just the defense was crazy in that game. That's what I love to see. That instead of people just throwing bombs and going deep down the field, you can see that the players was able to make plays, especially on defense. So that's definitely what you want to see when you're scouting, because we fans of the game, we're watching it, but we also looking for specific schemes and how people fit in certain conditions as well. So it was
Right.
great. You can definitely tell it.
Awesome. Last person I'm going to ask about the championship game. Dynasty, did you check it on Sunday? Brian Dynasty, you're muted, bro. What's the over/under tonight, you guys? On the mute, you're muted, bro. There you go, Dynasty. Did you catch the game on Sunday night?
So I tuned in a little into the third quarter, and then the Adams scored 2 touchdowns. So I think I ruined it for Christian Brown and the Fuel.
Oh,
My
so
apologies, guys.
it's your fault. Now, see, we were all wondering what happened to them in that third and fourth
Confirmed.
quarter. Now we know why. Okay. Tell us what you thought about the game. I mean, you're 1 year removed from the minor league, right? Playing in the minor league. What do you think about the minor league this entire season, let alone just the championship game?
Well, I kind of had to. I'm just a spectator this season because Lincoln wasn't in the league this season. So it was just nice, I mean, taking a step back, seeing everybody interact, not having to worry about, my own play in the minor league season. But, the game was great. I think congratulations to the Adams. A lot of great guys came out of the team last season, so I'm sure a lot of great guys will, definitely come off the board from them this season.
That's awesome. All right, thanks for sharing that, bro. Hey, real quick, I wanted to mention a couple things. Jack's Data had sent us information, which we talked about before the championship game, on their over/under and their spread. Albuquerque just missed, I believe, the spread, and the game went under on the 40.5 over/under. But Hunter was nice enough to send me a season 2 final power ranking, ELO ranking. And Tyler, this is where I want to actually bring you in on this. Obviously, Albuquerque and Birmingham are going to finish 1-2. And I don't remember what it looked like before, but I'm assuming 3 through 9 are the same that he showed before the championship game. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So everything is as it was on Wednesday night, we'll call it.
Right.
So if you remember previously, Memphis was the number, I want to say number 2 in the ELO, and then they dropped after losing.
Right.
And so when you look at it, I'm just going to quickly run down the list from bottom to top as far as all that goes real quick. So San Jose, for them, as far as playing goes, had a disappointing season. They have a fantastic locker room, however, that really gelled and worked as a team. And it really came to a head against Memphis week 8, where they shocked everyone and beat Memphis on the road. So that was pretty fun to see, and that's definitely the highlight for their season. For Tacoma, they played spoiler in the final 2 weeks, knocking off Salt Lake City in double overtime, and then taking out Annapolis to close out the season and put Salt Lake into the playoffs. So Tacoma definitely surprised. They definitely had things clicking to go in at the end of the season, and maybe we'll see a playoff run next season. As far as the last, basically 4 through 8, that's the line number on the spreadsheet. 3 through 7, or we'll go 4 through 7. Really just hit and miss for a lot of teams in there. Madison, I said it during the season, as far as their play went, I don't think they really found their identity. For 1 week, they tried to run the ball a whole lot with Charlie Boletsky, and Charlie Boletsky had some really great games. And they tried to throw the ball a couple times, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. It's just interesting to see how Madison played. But they've got, like I mentioned before, they have Boletsky and a Hubba Kimbrell and a lot of good people over in Madison. So I expect a few people to get drafted from there. Salt Lake City really didn't know what to expect coming out of the gate, but they have been competitive all season. Even in the playoffs, they're pretty competitive, making a late charge against Albuquerque. So definitely a team on the rise, definitely a team to watch out for in their second season. Memphis, we had a phenomenal season in our rookie campaign, going 5-3 in the regular season. Unfortunate for us to face Birmingham and get brought back down to a little bit of reality. But no, absolutely a fantastic locker room in there. A lot of good people. And a lot can be said about every single one of these locker rooms. All these locker rooms have fantastic prospects, fantastic people in each of these each of these locker rooms. We'll touch on Annapolis, Ottawa. The two semifinalists from last year both finished 4-4, getting knocked out in the playoffs on the final day. I would say they would probably be the first to tell you it was a disappointing way to end the season, but they'll definitely come back stronger next year. And then Birmingham and Albuquerque. Again, I said it Sunday evening. It's definitely the best game I've ever called as far as playing goes. And as far as those two teams, I don't think we could have had a better matchup in the final game of the season. And Albuquerque rightly pulled ahead and rightly took the championship.
Yeah, incredible SFL minor league season, an incredible championship game all the way around. It was great. Loved you and Jack coming on and Benjamin as well to do all that reporting this season. So thank you for that, and thanks for that recap right now.
Thanks, Dave.
You got it. All right, so let's get into some mock drafts. Mike Twin Screw's not able to be here, but he sent his mock draft anyway that is going to be released here momentarily. He only did one round. After we talk about that, we will then discuss, we'll bring in Frank, the franchise weight. Actually, Frank, I'm going to have you probably talk with me about Twin Screws as well. But Frank has brought in 3 rounds of his mock draft that we will be revealing here on the show right after we do Twin Screws. So let's take a look at Mike Twin Screws' first round mock draft. Frank, I want to bring you in first before I go to Coach. And as you look at this, compared to some of the stuff you did and what you showed last week, do you see any major differences or do you see any major similarities?
I do see some similarities. The first overall pick, Mike Ryan, strong safety, going to the Mavericks. He's got a receiver going to DC with their first pick. So do I, but it's a different receiver. In my first draft that I put out, I had quarterbacks going in the first round. If you look at the one I have, when you show the one I have now, I don't have any of the quarterbacks in the first round now. So I think that would be a big difference right there with the quarterbacks.
Yeah, and I noticed, I think, at least on your last one, you had a wide receiver going second as well, but it wasn't Chris Lee. It was RQ, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. So he's got Quintero going to Atlanta, and I think you had a wide receiver going to Lone Star. They've got a corner going there. Cliff Grizzly, did you have him at the same spot, or did you have him earlier? I don't remember on that one.
I had in the last one, I had him going 9 to St. Louis.
Okay. All right. So as you can see, everybody, different people who do the mock draft see things differently. They see you differently. They see the games differently. So there's going to be differences. And again, these are their opinions. Nothing's set in stone. But I don't want to discount these either. These mock drafts, these guys work hard on these. They do their research. They watch their games. They watch chat. They listen to people talking. So they're giving their best guesses on these. So although they're not an exact science, they work really hard, and they're going to be, I have a feeling they're going to be pretty close. Definitely a lot closer than last season when there was a lot of misinformation and then a draft change at the last second too. So, all right. So that's Twin Screws. First round mock draft 1.0 revealed here on Access Live. I'm hoping he will be able to come on the next show or the next time that he updates it, and we can talk to him about his choices. So now moving on to Frank's. Frank, I did a little thing here. I know I've got all 3 rounds, and they're going to look a little smaller because I put all 3 on one graphic, but I hit it. So you guys should only be able to see the first round right now is what I'm hoping. So on the first round, you still have Mike Ryan and RQ 1 and 2. In the first round only, what were your major changes from your other mock draft?
The first 4 picks, 3 of the first 4 picks are still the same, with the kicker going to London 4th. My change was Marco Swift, the quarterback, going to Portland with their first overall pick. Had them going running back, I believe, and then that spot was filled through free agency, so I had to make that change. I had Cliff Grizzly going to St. Louis at number 9. I think he's going to end up getting picked before that. going number 8 to Carolina. I moved Emmanuel Blackman up to Arizona for a free safety. And then Deuce Finnick going to Lone Star, replacing my son.
Oh, that's
but
right.
What I think is going to happen is if whichever one's available right there, I think that's who they're going to go with. Deuce over Maximus Blue at this point. A lot of the names kind of stayed the same. Hubble Kimball went down to he fell down to Sioux Falls as the first fullback taken.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Coach, let me bring you in here real quick. As you look at, as you saw Twin Screws mock draft, and you're looking at Frank's first round compared to what he had before, anything stand out to you?
Well, I'm going to have to take everyone's word for it because I'm on my phone and I can't see it. I can't see anything. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, well, here's the thing about the draft. I feel like it's wide open. Those first 2 picks could go almost anywhere, and they could cause a freaking domino effect everywhere else. So it's just the first team that needs a quarterback that takes a quarterback is going to cause a scramble for the other teams, and we're just going to see some funny stuff going. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be crazy. Last year it was kind of anticlimactic a little bit. I don't have any problem with any of these. I think they're all very viable, possible moves. I guess that's part of the fun about all of this is who knows what's going to happen, and I think it's going to be fun. I like the work that both these guys have put in, though. These are good. These are good. If you remember right, I was kind of a dick about the mock draft last year because I didn't get it. I didn't get the fun out of it, and I understand. I've seen the error of my ways. This is good stuff, and I like the work these guys have done.
Eddie Gage, let me bring you in here for a second before I go to Benji. I'm going to go back to Twin Screws mock draft for a second. As you look at Mike Twin Screws draft versus what we just saw in Frank's, anything jump out at you?
A couple things jump out at me, Dave. As I said before, I've been knowing Destro for about a decade, and knowing him like I know him, he's gonna take a running back with his first with the second overall pick. Tulsa lost Deacon Nickens, who by the way hasn't been picked up in free agency, and so I think they may be looking at a quarterback. I mean, I could be wrong on that because we've seen quarterbacks slide in the draft last season, but those are the first 2 things that stand out to me.
Benji, let's stick with Twin Screws just for a second, then I'm actually going to move over back to Frank's. As you look at Twin Screws, does anything jump out at you? Benji Matson?
Yes, I'm here, Dave. I'm here. In both mocks here, DC's taking a wide receiver at number 2. You have 2 different wide receivers potentially going. That's interesting that both experts have a wide receiver going to DC, and that's going to be a really interesting pick. Coach thinks running back's going to go first to DC, but I'm not so sure. Put it on the board. I don't think DC's going to running back with that second pick. That's going to be really interesting, a fun pick to watch.
Okay.
You can book it. DC's taking a running back. Put it in ink right now.
On their first pick, Eddie?
DC, with their first pick, is going to pick a running back. You can put it in ink right now.
I am. I'm actually putting it in pencil, but same.
Can I jump in
on
that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm getting ready to actually show the second round. Do you want to only comment on the first round right now, or do you want to see the second round first?
I just want to comment on Eddie's comment. That's all.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Eagle.
If DC, there's no other team that needs a running back, and running backs can't be taken at secondary position. DC could take their running back they want with their last pick in the 3rd round and get a better value pick with that second overall pick.
That's a good point.
That's just how I feel about it. I mean, I wouldn't waste a second overall pick on a running back when no other teams need a running back. That's all.
How do you feel about that as with the quarterback position as well, Eagle?
I think all of the teams have an idea, including us in St. Louis, of who we would like.
Mm-hmm.
But the good part is there's a bunch of different great options to have. So we have, multiple backup plans. So I think St. Louis will be very happy with the quarterback we select at least.
Okay. Soto, I'm gonna show the second round here. I'm only showing one round at a time. There we go. All right, so I just included the second round of Frank's mock draft. That starts off with, it looks like Evan Lacey, free safety, going to London, Jason France, tight end, going to Tulsa, and so forth. As you have seen both Twin Screws first round and now Frank's first and second round, Greg, does anything stand out to you?
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing is I kind of agree with Frank. I do think that there will not be any QBs taken in that first round, going off of what Frank put down, and I kind of agreed with Coach. If there for whatever reason there is a QB picked in the first round, I think the draft pretty much goes to hell in a handbasket, because I kind of agree with Frank on that first round. Second round, what sticks out? What sticks out? And it looks like it was a lot more prominent, and I'm trying to remember exactly, a lot more prominent last draft. Offensive linemen. I only see, what is it, one, two, three offensive linemen here going in the first two rounds. I know a lot of owners put emphasis, especially into season 15, about the offensive linemen. So it's kind of interesting that there's only three going there in the first two rounds. I figured some other teams that needed, a couple more offensive linemen that didn't do that last year would be jumping to get that, especially how some of them, already have key positions already taken care of.
Right. Hey, Ross Napoli, let me bring you back. I'm going to jump back to Twin Screws for a second. Your head coach over there.
Yep.
Or actually, wait, didn't he just get a promotion too?
Yes, he is the offensive coordinator now in Louisiana.
Oh, that's right.
He was my offensive coordinator in Salt Lake this year.
That's right. He was interim head coach last year. That's right.
Yes.
Okay, dude, I'm telling you, it's you guys promote everybody over there. It's so hard
We have,
to keep
we have a very big front office and coaching staff.
Apparently you do. I'm gonna have to come visit your facility just to kind of get a peek on how many offices you have. Let's look at Twin Screws first, and then I'm gonna jump back to Frank's. You guys don't have any picks, so anything you say really doesn't affect your draft, obviously, at all. What stands out to you in Mike Twin Screws' first mock draft?
Well, I think I look at it a little bit differently because, yes, I'm the GM in Louisiana, and obviously we don't have the pick, so we won't be participating. But being a coach in the SFLm this year, the thing that stands out to me is that Mike being on our team sees the value of the Salt Lake guys. And he's got more Salt Lake guys going in his first round, where Frank has a bunch of them going in the second round. And I think that brings a good point to the league that I try to look at when we look at these drafts. And it's each team does things a little bit differently, right? I mean, I'm not trying to, single out anybody who does things specifically, but like when you have like guys like, Allen in Charleston or some of these other teams that, in jokingly like us, we have a large front office. We have a bunch of guys involved in what goes on. You have a couple of teams where the owner is the owner and the GM are making the decisions. So when there's very few opportunities that are offered to a franchise, from a franchise to a player, rather, I think those teams tend to look more towards the actual value of the player in the game, where teams that offer different opportunities are also looking at the type of player. Because let's face it, I was a rookie last year too. There is no secret that as far as value in the game, my player should not have been the 5th overall pick in the draft.
Right.
I was drafted to Louisiana based on what I was going to bring to the team. And I think that's what Mike's kind of shows a little bit more. We've gotten to know some of these guys in Salt Lake City, and Mike knows the value that they will bring to teams. And I think if you look at the teams where he's placing some of these guys, be it Greg, or Kingston or Peanut say, he's placing them in places where there may be more opportunities than just the value of the player in the game. And I think that's what's fun about a lot of these mock drafts.
Yeah.
We like to view it like the value of the players, but when some of these guys and what they bring, like what Otis Boudreau brought to Vegas last year to be a first round pick. When you know more about those guys, it makes a little bit more sense as to where some of these guys go. And I think that's what stands out to me, that Mike has a personal relationship with a couple of these guys, and he feels that they're first rounders due to that, maybe outside of their value in the game.
Gotcha. Let me go to Dion real quick before I go back to Frank and get some more explanation from him. Dion, as an owner, as somebody who's drafting as early as fifth in the first round this season, what do you think about the work these guys put into these mock drafts, and how accurate do you think they're going to be?
I think they'll be crazy accurate. It might not be the particular person, but you can tell that they did their homework in the draft, looking at the positions. Like they know that a lot of teams have kickers, and London doesn't have one right now, and DC has so many options they can go with kind of whatever they need. But you can tell that these guys put in their work, and they're looking at actual fit, could be personality wise, and also with the team needs as well with the quarterbacks. And the thing with the quarterbacks is that they have them selected in different places. Like Tommy Utah, I see that he was up. I'm not sure which one, but he was up there pretty high. When initially I was thinking that he may have been one of the later quarterbacks, but going throughout the minor league, he raised him up the draft board. So you can tell these guys put in a lot of work, and they weren't just putting random people like the NFL. Or he runs a 40 fast, so he got to go top 10. So
right.
You can tell they really did their homework.
Yeah, they have Twin Screw has Tommy Utah going 7th to Vegas. So
right.
That was a good point. Frank, let me drag you back in here, bro. Talk to me about this second round of your mock draft.
First of all, Eagle kind of mentioned it about the running backs. No possible pick for a running back except for maybe DC, and I do have them in the second round picking a running back. But again, they can go many different directions. They have 15 picks, and 12 of them are in the third round, so they can wait and get that running back in the third round because nobody's going to be touching them. Now, the only thing that they got to think about is there's 5 or 6 fullback positions open compared to what the teams did last time. That's not saying they'll do it this time, though. But there's possibility that they take one of those running backs and put it as a quote unquote fullback. The O-line deal, I got 4 going in the top 2 rounds. I've got 2 in the first and 2 in the second. But the way I understand the ruling on that, if you've got the cap space, you can bring in more than just that one offensive lineman. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think they have to have what's called an offensive line coach this season. Dion or Eddie, do you want to jump in here and explain that real quick?
Oh, can you hear me?
Is that Eddie? Yeah, Eddie, go ahead.
You don't have to have an offensive lineman, but if you do, you can designate him as a coach. But you don't have to have an offensive lineman.
But can you have more than one offensive lineman without having an offensive line coach?
Correct. Yes, you can.
Okay, there you go, Frank.
Okay, so I've got Queen City. I've got them picking an offensive lineman. By what they did last season, there was 3 O linemen on their roster. So I was thinking that's why I had QCC picking that offensive lineman. Then I don't understand. I don't know. I do understand, but I don't know what personality coaches and owners are looking for. I can't put my mind into 24 different owners and 24 different GMs and try to figure out what they're going to do. But I do look at positions that they had last year and what's empty this year. And I tried to place, a good quality guy in that spot. I did get Ross Napoli's pick last year correct, by the way. I want to throw that in there. But you look at the second round, and that's where I've got my quarterbacks going. You've got 3 teams that need a quarterback. And there's about 6 or 7 quality guys that can be picked. You've got a couple of guys that played in last year's minor league that are still sitting there. So there's no need to rush for a quarterback in the first round, and they can pick them up in the second.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah, Charles just said. You think I should have known the answer to that question, Charles? He's like, Dave, the Caudells. No kidding, right? Eddie answered the question I already knew the answer to, Frank, because we have two offensive linemen and we don't have an offensive line coach. So, all right, Charles, thanks. Hey, I thought Charles was going to be on the show. See, if you would have been here, that I probably would have made that mistake. But all right, Frank, let's get ready to reveal your third round. Let's discuss it briefly before we show it. The third round's going to be kind of crazy. I believe that DC has like half the third round all themselves, and they have the last, maybe 8 picks in a row to themselves, something like that?
Have 8 picks, and they have 12 total in that round.
Okay. All right, here we go.
And Houston has 4, I think.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at this third round draft or mock draft by Frank the Franchise Wade. It starts off with Florida with the first pick, taking defensive tackle Benny Butcher. Let me see if there's any other names on here that I recognize. Oh, and Jorge Torres, who was just on the show the other night. Explain a few of these picks to me, Frank.
Just filling need, and it's guys that I've seen, in the chat and being active. Maybe not on a continuous basis, but I've seen them, frequently, and I know those teams need those holes to fill, and they're getting good quality down there. And then if you look at the round, I didn't do the last 10 picks of the Dragons, because that pretty much they can pick anybody, and there's a lot of quality people still sitting out there that possibly could move, shift to a different position. And I didn't want to get into, well, this guy could be shifted here, this guy could be shifted there.
Right.
So that's why I just left all that blank.
Okay. Let me bring Benji. Actually, let me go to Dynasty. Dynasty, I haven't asked you a draft question yet. As you look at Frank's draft in particular, there's only a few quarterbacks needed, like he mentioned. None really need to go in the first round. But outside of quarterbacks, what else stands out to you on this mock draft as you look at it?
That Hugo isn't on the board.
Well, maybe somebody still has to draft Hugo. Is that what you're saying?
Draft Hugo, draft Eddie.
All right.
I really think Jack Lewis, it makes sense, being a kicker. I would think more old linemen in the first round. I mean, there was such there's so few but so many teams utilize them so well. So I just think that, they should be as far as the defensive side, the defensive line, there's so few people compared to last season where there was just a plethora of guys available. These guys should be flying off the board, easy top 10 picks, just based off the D linemen and the O linemen. Build the trenches up. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Benji, let me ask you something real quick. He mentioned Jack Lewis, and Frank has him slotted to go to you at 4th. But talk about the difference between everybody that was kind of surprised that OJ got taken at 10th, I think it was, last year or last season by Vegas as a kicker, but how the tables have turned because now there's only one kicker in the draft and multiple teams need a kicker.
Yeah, Otis was fun when that went down last season. And I think this has already been commented on tonight. I think what's going to be really fun in the draft coming up is when that unexpected pick happens and people are going to say, why in the world is that person going in the first round or whatnot? And then you'll start to see, as all these dominoes fall, these teams out here picking have already established relationships with their go-to guys, And so Otis going to Vegas, which was a shock to many at the time, when you look at it in hindsight now, perfect pick for Vegas. That was great that Otis went there. So I think it's going to be fun to wait and see when those picks start to happen in that first round. And they'll happen all draft too, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But some of those unexpected picks where now, in hindsight, these players have really established relationships with teams, with front offices, and these teams are going to reach up and go and grab and get someone. I mean, it's like Dynasty going last year as a quarterback. I know there are some teams here. There's going to be a lot of quarterback value, so they don't have to pick a quarterback in the first round. But what if they've got their guy?
Right. You don't want to risk not getting them. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes a pick like that can make a franchise too, or a pick like that can be an extreme building block like a low-rated tight end in the first round. And so you'll never know, and that's what's going to be what's going to be exciting about the draft coming up.
It really is. I'm going to bring Tyler in before I go to Frank to wrap this up, and we'll move on. Tyler, let's get a completely different perspective from you. You are a rookie. You are slotted on both of these mock drafts as the number one overall pick. You've had the privilege of announcing a lot of SFLm games and getting a firsthand look at all of these players. Tell me what you see in these two mock drafts that stands out to you.
The thing that stands out to me is that, yes, I might call a lot of games. Yes, I might do a lot of stuff. But for me, I wouldn't put me at number one. It's an honor to be put there, but we have a lot of fantastic people that don't even make this list that should be, in my opinion, should be in the first round, if not, top 10, if not number one. So for me, like, we could see anyone go anywhere. So like Bernard Smith, fantastic person off the field. Yes, he's my teammate, so I'm a little bit biased, but at the same time, he's a fantastic person behind the player. If you want someone that's going to hype up your locker room to get everybody pumped and ready for game day, you pick him. Okay? If you want someone who's going to be calm, cool, and level-headed and make fantastic plays at wide receiver, you draft Chris Lee or Riley Quintero. They are fantastic people. You want someone who's going to meme your locker room and lift your spirits up no matter how your score is, you draft #Pug Power Jimmy Hazard. And yes, I've had a little bit of trouble pronouncing his name early on in my career, calling him Hazard, trying to make him play in the English Premier League. But no, like, serious. If you want someone who's going to be humble, want someone who's going to be respectful and amazing, you draft Cliff Grizzly. If you want someone who's going to be just an all-around solid person but doesn't really talk a lot, you draft Max Knight. Okay, there are so many good people in this draft. Mm-hmm. It's hard. Like, even for me, when I was going over this weekend, like, you had suggested that, hey, I should, make a mock draft for me. I would put myself last and put everyone else before me because that's how many good people are in this draft.
Yeah, and you know what? And I'm going to bring Frank back in to give us the last word on this. But Frank, we had a tremendous amount of amazing people in the last draft. I mean, the fact that we have this many tremendous people again in back-to-back seasons says a lot about the people in this league.
It's a good nucleus from last year and I mean last season, and then building on it with a good group of players this time as well. It's only going to make the league stronger. I know there's some discussions about certain positions and people wanting to be in that certain position can't get there and all that, but it's all about being involved and just wanting to be part of the league and just having your player out there or, maybe willing to switch positions. When I was in the minors, I was a cornerback, wanted to play receiver, but I got drafted as a tight end. And I like being a tight end, and I've gotten to be part of two good teams with some great people. And I just wanted – that's what I tell all the people that would interview me. I just want to be drafted. I just want to play, and just be involved.
Awesome.
There are good people. And I know there's some names I may have left off or should be higher than what they are. I don't know all of them personally. I just see them in chat and things like that. I don't know what relationship is being made with owners and general managers and players and stuff. So, I may get 5 or 6 picks right, and the rest of it's, just all over the place. But I did it mainly. I've said this before, that the main reason why I was doing this was to get a lot of names out there. Mock drafts were being posted last season with just first round. So I decided to go the 4-round draft. And just to get people's names out there. I had people DMing me saying, thanks for putting me on there. Since I've been on there, I've had GMs, reach out to me and stuff like that. This season, I have not had one negative comment. I've had positive DMs and positive messages from people just appreciating them, seeing their name out there.
That's awesome. No, and we appreciate it. I'm sure the minor leaguers appreciate it, Frank, for you and Twin Screw both doing this. So,
Hey, Dave.
yeah, Eddie, go ahead.
Dave,
Go ahead and jump in.
stop the presses, man.
Stop the
Stop the
presses.
presses.
Hold on. All right, presses or stop. What do you want?
Dave, first of all, much respect to everyone who does all this work to get all these people out here and put a mock draft together. I appreciate all their hard work. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, but first of all, it's a crime not to see this particular individual in the first round, but to not see him in the second and third. Where in the hell is Will Todd at? If someone doesn't draft Will Todd, I might just have to draft him myself just to give my lovely quarterback, Ashley quarterback, another weapon to throw the ball to. This is ridiculous.
Will Todd,
Draft him.
Arizona
There it is.
confirmed.
You gotta go, right? You
There-
gotta do it now. Pull the trigger. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it, Eddie. Walk the walk. Well, like Frank just said, there's a lot of good people in this league. There's a lot of good people in this draft, and not everybody can, I guess, make the list.
Todd is in a game chat every game, whether it's himself making a play, someone else on offense making a play, somebody else on defense making a play. He is always celebrating his teammates whenever they make a positive play.
Yeah, I'm looking
And for
at
him-
Twin Screws right now too. I don't see him on Twin Screws either.
What the hell? I mean, what is this guy not doing? I don't get it, man.
I don't know. We can talk about it on Thursday though when we do our draft show. If you want to come back on, real quick, a couple things before we go to Frank's special announcement, his surprise announcement that he teased at the beginning of the show. Two things I want to say. Number one, I thought I saw someone ask when the draft is. The draft is this weekend. Starts on Saturday the 19th, which is my lovely wife's birthday. So I probably won't be as involved as I was last year, at least on Saturday. And then Sunday and Monday. So 3 nights of the draft coming up. There was some. Oh, and also, as soon as Frank gives his announcement and then Gunny does his Pearls of Wisdom, we're going to go straight into After Dark. And I've asked people to come on to talk about things about the show over the last 50 episodes. And I want anybody in the chat that is willing and wanting, you can either come into the green room and you can talk on the show, or you can type it into the chat and I will try to get to it and read it. And I'm just looking, if something you like about the show, maybe a favorite moment, a favorite show, just some thoughts, some memories, just whatever you had to say about the first 50 shows of Access Live. I would appreciate some feedback in there. So before I get to all the panel and everything, first thing first, Mr. Frank the Franchise Wade has a very special announcement for the entire SFL Nation. Frank, it's all yours.
All right, SFL Nation. What started out as a joke between the best looking tight end in the league and the best or sexiest sounding tight end in the league. I don't even know who brought it up first, but the tight end calendar has been completed. And just as soon as Benji and I can get it displayed, we're going to put it out there for everybody.
That is amazing. Can you tease some of the people who are in it?
We've got Dags, we got Williams, we got Blue, we've got Matson, Flash, Wall. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but we've got some teams covered. It's gonna be pretty neat. I've been working on it for about 2 weeks and got all the months done and working on the pictures and stuff. The hardest part was getting pictures of the players so that I could put them on there. But I had some good people sending me stuff and helping me out. I got Jamal Wooding's another one that's on there. Lloyd Graham Jr., he's on there as well. Robert Garrett Jr. is on there. Matthews Jr. from Queen City's on there. So I've got some good quality people on that calendar.
That's awesome. All right, well, everybody, we have something to look forward to. And Kendra, I just saw your comment. We need a wide receiver calendar. I guess we do. And Fear Dog said, this is making funny feels on the inside. I'm questioning things. All right, so we are stirring things up. There you go. Oh, Look at my lovely wife, Pink Lisa, says we need a party people calendar. That is a great idea, an Access Live calendar with all of
Cam
your
asked,
faces
is it
on
coming
there.
out tonight?
What's that?
Cam keeps spamming, asking, is it coming out tonight?
Is it coming out tonight? Oh, Cam does? No, Cam, it's not coming out tonight. All right. Gunny, are you around by any chance?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm a subscriber for my calendar now.
What's to say that again?
I'm subscribing for my calendar right now.
That's awesome. All right. Are you ready to rock?
Get my card ready.
Good for you. Are you ready to rock and roll on this?
Yes, sir.
All right. You can start whenever you're ready, bro.
Hey, good evening, SFL Nation. First of all, thanks to Frank Wade for having me on his mock draft board last season. I was the first pick in round number 8. Also, everybody gives this love to Tyler Falk. I'm going to shout out to Fire Dog Ryan Yosef, my season 14 teammate at the Chicago Wildcats, and now he's going to be a strong safety for the Los Angeles Lycans. Also, he should be on the tight end calendar because he was a tight end when he first signed into the league as a non-contract. Again, congratulations to Dave Access on his 50th show, and we wish him many, many more. Now for Gunny's 12 Days of Christmas. 12 glorious wins for Lone Star. 11 defenders bashing. 10 announcers announcing. 9 Lincoln King seat interceptions. 8 offensive drives of rough and tumble. 7 Soto passes receiving. 6 sacks of plenty for Yogi and Fab 5-6. 5 golden sleeves for Access. 4 Gronks of bulldozing. 3 Ace Finnick touchdown passes weekly. 2 guards of Caudill's pancaking. And 1 voice of Kick It. S16 is here.
That was awesome, Gunny.
And that is all.
Oh, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing.
I knew you would like it. It was flavored for a little bit of one team, if you could tell.
Yeah, I couldn't tell at all. I mean, I thought it was perfect the way it was. So, you know.
It was my favorite team, so it was good.
There you go. Attaboy, Gunny. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to come on the show, jump into the green room. If you have any comments you'd like to make about the show, go ahead and put them in here. I'm actually going to start running through the panel now. Coach, I'm going to start with you. Yep, go ahead. Did somebody call my name?
Yeah, I think Gunny should have threw a hair flip in there.
Oh, a gun in the 12. That's a good. Maybe that's the partridge on the pear tree. A hair flip on the pear tree. There you go.
Hair flip in the end zone.
In the end zone. There you go. That's a good point, though. I'm going to start with Coach, I think. I've got a few people who have been on more than anyone. You know, Thomas Smith, who wasn't able to be with us. Frank the Franchise Wade, of course. Coach has been on a lot. Eagle's been on a lot. Eddie's been on a ton. So I'm just going to start kind of going through and try to get some feedback from everybody about memories of the show, favorite moment, things you like. Maybe talk a diva, whatever, what have you. Whatever you want to talk about that has to do with celebrating this 50th episode of Access Live. And Coach, I'd like to start with you.
I think one of my favorite memories was that time that Johnny Pickler answered a question quickly and succinctly. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, Johnny.
Dude, you're never going to leave him alone, are you?
I got to tease him. Come on. No, in all seriousness, just recently the Thanksgiving one, when we were talking about things we were thankful.
Yeah.
For me personally, that felt like a little bit of a reset. You know, it got me hearing other people tell their stuff, saying my things. It got me to think a little bit about the stuff. You remember when I started that thing? I said we fight about some of the dumbest shit sometimes in this league.
Yep.
But there's so much still to be really thankful for. So many good things, and I'm going to choose hope. I'm just going to choose hope, and that show was kind of a reset for me to get back to that mindset a little bit. And so for me, that was a pretty special thing.
Awesome.
And I've been drunk most of the others, so I don't remember anything about them.
I think we all know that it's recorded. We have evidence. All right, Coach. Thank you so much. I'm going to go to Eddie Gage next. Eddie Gage, how about you?
Um, I think I have two actually. One is the military tribute you did. I thought that was freaking awesome, dude. Just showing respect to everybody who served, especially people who served in some kind of combat capacity. I was in Desert Storm driving tanks, and I just remember it being hot as fuck. I'm sorry. I just remember. I just
Hey,
remember
it's
it being
after dark.
hot.
We're okay, Eddie.
Oh, okay, we're good. I just remember it being hot as fuck over there, and thinking I would never come home. And all of a sudden, the war kicked off, and a couple weeks later, it was pretty much all over with, pretty much. And I saw some weird, crazy stuff over there, arms and limbs and all that. But enough of that. But another favorite of mine, like Coach just touched on, I didn't think I would talk about some of the stuff I endured growing up, but when I started hearing everyone else, open up, it kind of made me just kind of loosen the reins, open up myself, and talk about, growing up in the projects of Chicago when, man, we were starving, and my dad used to go hungry just so we could eat. And I remember people when I grew up and got out of that situation, people always asked me why was I smiling all the time. I used to just go back and reflect on those times when, growing up hungry and broke and having only two pair of jeans to wear to school all week, man, and to be where I'm at now. I'm not saying I'm rich, but we well off, and I just think back on them times, man. That show just got me reminiscent of escaping poverty, crime, and drugs, and living a gang life to do what I had to do to support my family, and ultimately getting up out of there because people was coming at my head, man, and the military kind of saved my life because you know people wanted me to no longer be here. But that's a long time ago. I want to forget about that, and but yeah, that show, man, just had me reminiscing about that, all of that, man, and you guys made it comfortable to talk about because I really don't like talking about that part of my life. It just brings tears to my mom's face every time we talk about it, but you guys kind of just made me comfortable doing so. And so I want to thank you for giving us a platform to speak on, man, because, you give uh, eyes and ears to a lot of the people here who otherwise may not be heard if not for people like you and Ashley Jackson and Coach Craven and, the GM over in Portland, you guys, giving everyone this platform to speak on, especially to rookies, because they sometimes feel left out. And like you said, those guys putting a mock draft together, it gives those guys, recognition. So, yeah, I just want to thank you for that, man, for giving us this platform.
Of course, bro. I appreciate you saying those words, and I'm hoping that we can do the military show every year, if not twice a year, just so we can keep that in the forefront of our minds all the time. So thank you, Eddie. A couple things before I get to Frank. A couple things in the chat. Nate Hall said, I really enjoyed being part of your Military Veterans Appreciation Show. Jason France, love you, Dave Axis. Thanks for coming on twice every week and just being you. I think you're going to hear a ton about the Thanksgiving show, so be prepared. Probably. CB12 said, I want to thank you at Dave Axis for having me on the show in the beginning of the season. It was a great experience, and you have such a great show. Congrats on 50, my man. And then there was one more I wanted to read. And Kendra Hall said something. Oh, I love being on the show. It was an honor to win Diva of the Week. I'm going to bring on Dynasty here in a minute, and then I'm also going to bring on my lovely wife. But before I get to them, I want to bring on Frank the Franchise Wade, who has probably done the most shows, if not tied for the most shows with Thomas. Frank, you probably have more to kind of figure out than anybody on this question, but, give us some of your favorite moments maybe, or your favorite shows or highlights or whatever you want to talk about.
I could mention the Thanksgiving one because that was special. I have done a lot of shows, and I really appreciate it, Dave, allowing me to be part of the 50. But the one that stands out most to me is the first one. I just started off doing mock drafts just to help other people out. And then you invited me to come on, and I was nervous. I had been around just, talking with you a couple times and some of the other guys talking with them. And y'all made me feel comfortable. You made me fit right in. And I've loved it. My wife sees the the joy in my face when I'm doing something, whether it be graphics or a mock draft or getting ready for your show or something like that. She sees the excitement that I have. And I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm looking forward to retirement to where I have more time to mess with this and be a part of it. I thank you for everything. And that first show really stands out. And I just tried to build off from there.
Yeah, thank you for being on the first show and so many more afterwards, Frank. I really appreciate you, buddy. Let me. Somebody brought up Diva of the Week, so I want to go to Dynasty real quick. The very first Diva of the Week in the history of Axis Live. Dynasty, I don't know if that's your favorite moment or not, but give us something about the show that you've liked along the way.
Well, yeah, definitely. Thank you, Dave, for doing the show. It's come a long way since listening to you and Johnny do that terrible first show. So it's been great since then. But I want to bring up that I wasn't on the after game show. The after game, was it the first game of the season?
Oh, when you guys beat Baltimore?
Stood you up.
Yeah, you did.
I stood you up, yeah. So
yeah,
sorry about that.
That's okay. That's why you didn't win Diva of the Year.
Thank you for not putting me on after Eddie Gage, because you can't follow that guy.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, I mean, I want everybody listening, all the rookies, see what Dave has done. There is room for you in this league, content-wise, creating. If there's somebody you really want to work with, tell them. Look what Dave has done. In the time that Dave's had his show, you've started so many. You have 2 spin-offs now. You got Tyler's show coming out, and it's great, Dave. You've been such a great member of the community, and people people should take it as an example of the great content you put out, and they should follow suit. Like with other mock drafts, you put these guys, you spotlight these guys, you give them their chance to shine, and thank you just for doing what you do, Dave.
Well, thank you for those kind words, Dynasty. I really appreciate that. I really do, and I love you being a part of the show, and I love that you changed your name to Dynasty After Dark. I think I love that the most, about more than anything.
Well, yeah, you did the right thing. I was loud and I was a squeaky wheel, but in light of the situation, you were right to take a break from it. But you had to do what you had to do.
No, I get you. Hey, it is what it is. I
rename the portion of the show after me whenever you're ready.
There you go. Well, the bidding will begin at a certain amount of money. I'll let you know. I'm going to go to Ross in a moment, but before I go to Ross, I want to bring in my lovely wife, the one who has been nothing but supportive of everything I've done in the SFL, and most importantly with this show. Lise, let me bring you in here real quick.
What's up?
What's up, party people? First of all, I can't thank you enough for letting me do my thing. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. I appreciate all the help you've given me behind the scenes. But did you think that this was going to be as successful as it was? Did you think that I was going to just kind of do it for a little bit and it would be over? What kind of thoughts did you have when I first told you that I wanted to do this crazy show?
Well, what kind of thoughts? It's after dark, so I could probably be pretty honest, but I'll keep it clean. To be honest, the first thing that I thought was it's about time, because you and I have talked about this so many times about how you could do something like this. Well, we didn't know necessarily that this was the platform that you would use, but we knew that you could do something like this and be really successful based on just your personality and other successes that you've had. So I wouldn't say that I'm surprised necessarily. I'm actually a little surprised that it took you this long to even just do something with it, because I always knew you could be successful.
Well, I appreciate those words. What do you think about the show as a whole? Do you love it?
Well, I'll be honest. I don't always listen to all of the content.
Wait a minute. You're not supposed to say that on the air. What are you doing?
I'm in the chat and I listen to some of it. But hey, 30 years, sports isn't necessarily my thing. But
I know.
I do enjoy listening to it. I do enjoy listening to, especially the special shows, and I do enjoy watching the chat and see what's going on. And one of the things that I absolutely enjoy, and I'm glad that I have an opportunity to say this, and that is thank you so much to the party people, to all of you guys out there who support Dave, who are making David's dream for being online and streaming and doing these sorts of things come true. Your support means so much to him, which means it means a ton to me. And a big shout out to all of you guys who are subscribers already. I know he didn't make a big deal out of having the subscribe button on his channel, but that was a really big deal, I thought. The kids had been trying to get him to do that for months, and he finally did that. So big shout out to you guys who have already done your subscriptions, and I think that's really awesome. But thank you guys so much for supporting David and his dream and just being the awesome party people that you are.
Awesome, baby. Thank you for coming on again. This is like the third or fourth time you've been on now.
Yeah, I think it is actually.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make you a regular. We'll see. But if you make you a regular, you gotta start watching games.
No, maybe I could just give I don't know, reviews of whiskey or I don't know.
We could
something.
do a Wednesday. Oh, we could do a Wednesday like wine and whiskey review or something. There you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, if that show pops up, I'll let you know. All right, baby. Thank you
All
for
right.
coming on.
Love you.
All right, love you. Ross Napoli, I know you got to run. Sorry for keeping you. I want to get you in here and get your thoughts on some things in the that have gone on in the Dave Axis show the last 50 episodes.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Dave. And again, I want to thank you for having me on a handful of times. I always enjoy it. I want to echo a little bit of what everybody else has said here about the kind of platform that you've established here and what you've brought to the league. It's in my eyes, it's the most successful show clearly that goes on here in the SFL. I know plenty of people that I talk to where in our conversations, we're talking about something that's going on in the league, or we're talking what's just going on in general that you've seen in chat or whatever. And the conversation always comes down to, oh, did you listen to, Access, on Tuesday, or did you hear Thursday's show? Because you're always covering the stuff that everyone's talking about. And clearly a majority of this league is tuned into what you have to say or the content that you bring. So, definitely keep it going. And I'm very happy that you've allowed me to be part of it a handful of times.
Yeah, and I appreciate you coming on, Ross, and I appreciate the you helping out with the military show as well. Go ahead.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. As far as the two things that really stood out for me was one, the military show, which again, I mean, I don't think anybody is going to say that they didn't enjoy that or appreciate, what you've done there. But my specific appreciation is for you helping in the beginning. One of the first times I was on was unrolling the charity initiative, which was, the idea that I brought to the league. And it didn't necessarily get the league support in the beginning for multiple reasons, which were valid, as far as, how it was going to roll out and make sure the money was going to go where it was. But you were someone, and you and I had spoken, about it, because I had told Coach about my idea. He said, I'm going to bring it over. And for what you guys did over at Lone Star for your cause, as well as what Johnny brought Stack up to us and anybody else who got involved in on it, I think we really got that, we got that exposure because you gave us the platform to come out and have the CEO from Stack Up on and to really get the whole, initiative out. And, I thank you for taking the time and, being a part of it and allowing, me and Johnny to come on that night and really explain it to the league. And, I just wanted to thank you, here on your show for that stuff, because that's the kind of content that I think this league needs outside of just, the video game. And, we like to talk about all the bullshit that goes on in the league, and we get it. Everybody loves to talk about the gossip and the drama, but the military stuff and the charity stuff that you were behind and your wife is heavily involved with your charity and stuff. And, I just wanted to make sure if there were anybody, the rookies who may not have been around for those shows that were listening now, that you were a big part of that, and I really do appreciate that.
I appreciate the kind words, Ross. I really do. Thank you for coming on tonight. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, I want to move on now to somebody who's also been on a ton of shows, somebody I thanked in the monologue, and someone who has been behind the scenes as much as anybody, and that's Eagle Mondavi. Eagle, I know I only got to you like one question during the regular show, but I want to get your take on Axis Live over the last 50 episodes.
Yeah, it's been 50 episodes. Holy shit.
I know. Well, and that doesn't even count the draft shows and the post game shows.
No, it doesn't.
It's
It's crazy. It's 50 regular shows, right? Like I think I've been here since the beginning. I did take some time off for a few shows with LC being born. But man, it's crazy that we're at 50 already. It was just like the two of us and like Winkler like in a conversation like, "Hey, we can fucking do this. Let's do it." And yeah, this is where we are. It's 50 episodes in. It's been great. I'm excited. You know, I did miss, you know, when I was miss those episodes, you know, it's like, oh man, nope, I've got a baby. You know, I want to be on the show. I want to talk. You know, I want to be helping Dave out because I do enjoy coming on when I can. But it's like I have to pick my battles now on my free time. And I think though my favorite episode was that first episode when I was in the hospital with Elsie and Winkler, and you made that graphic for Elsie.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just sitting next to Elsie in the hospital, and Michelle's taking a nap, you know, sleeping, and it's like I'm up, and I'm just like, oh, this is fantastic. This is awesome. I loved helping out with the mock drafts last year. I did take a step back with the mock drafts this year, just in my new role as GM of St. Louis. You know, I didn't want to do your work for you, Dave.
I know. Little did you know.
Yeah.
I didn't have that much work to do.
No, exactly. But I just wasn't sure how. And the other thing is I just didn't want other teams to, you know, find the players that I like and everything. But what, you know, Twin Screw, what Frank does, what the guys over at Sim Scouts think, it's just fantastic work that they do. And it's like, again, it's all, you know, just fun for all of us, right? No one's taking, I mean, if you're taking us super seriously, take a step back and chill. We're doing this all for fun, to help content, to help build this league.
Right.
No, but I'm just, it's crazy that we're 50 episodes in, you know, that's all. And it's like, you haven't fired me. I haven't received a paycheck yet.
It's in the mail.
It's always in the mail, you know.
Hey, talk to Doug Britton about that.
Yeah, postal service around this time, man.
Or Delaney Nash or somebody.
Yeah. No, but yeah, no, Dave. It's just I'm here whenever you need anything, as long as my time allows it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate everything you've done, Eagle, and all the words I said in the beginning. I meant all of them. So thanks again for coming on tonight too. I appreciate it.
In the beginning of this episode, I must have missed it.
You must have missed it. Now you have to go back and watch it. Now I get another view. Hey,
I got to give you a view.
All right, bro. Thanks. I'm gonna go to Benji here in a moment. No, actually, I'm gonna go to Greg Soto first, but I want to read a few things from the chat. Doug Britton said, "Still favorite moment for myself was the one show when it seemed like 20 people were asking who is N2D1 Disney or whatever it was." That's right. And of course, I had to answer it that many times. It was fun for me, and then I was told to change my name to what it is today. Yeah, Doug. Ever since you changed to Doug Britton, I actually know who the hell you are now. What do you know? There's a couple more in here I want to see real quick. Ace Fennec, my favorite Axis Live is the next one. That was great. CB12, fuel quarterback production value of this show. Oop, I just lost it. There we go. Is out of this world compared to a bunch of other paid podcasts that I've listened to. Shout out to everyone involved. Doug Britton said, but real favorite show was the Rich show. Oh yeah, Rich Pratchett, after his passing, all the stories about it. Great, man. That was a very emotional show. I agree. And then Kendra Hall said, at Dave Axis, all your shows are amazing. We have never had a day where it wasn't eventful. Keep up the good work. Sending lots of love to you and Pink Lisa. Thank you, Kendra. I appreciate that. Greg Soto, let me bring you in, bro. You know, you and I've we've been friends for a while now, since before you were even going through all that draft stuff. You were playing in the minor league. We've already talked about your crazy road in the SFL, but tell me about this crazy show called Axis Live and anything that stood out in the first 50 episodes.
Well, first, Dave, I want to say thank you for bringing me on, especially now on the 50th. Hopefully, you know, we'll be on. I'll be on again in the 100th. so we can look back and how this crazy show, like you said. The biggest thing, that I want to bring up, like for rookies, is like whenever you have owners, or every time you have a panel of owners on and talk about their teams and how they got to where they got, that's always an eye opener, because that's kind of behind the curtain kind of stuff that we don't get from other shows with that in that capacity. So when I was a rookie, I liked that. I like that show. My favorite has to be the Thanksgiving one. Because it's one thing. We all are involved in this simulation game of esports. But whenever you can, some people say peel the onion back and really, show our human side, not just our player, but just the human side of everything that goes on in our normal lives, and we can bring it up to the Access Live party people, that are listening. That's always a big plus. It was very eye-opening to hear, real stories of things that people have been through, here in our league, and how this league has brought us together to talk about it, which is kind of cool. Some people don't have that outlet. Some people on a day-to-day basis don't have an outlet to talk, and sometimes don't feel comfortable talking face-to-face. So having a mic and having nobody see them brings that out of them, and they could actually be themselves, which is always a good thing that I love about your show. And then a jaw-dropping moment or show was probably, I think, last week when you had a couple of the owners on After Dark. I always enjoy crazy moments on the show when you're literally not paying attention to the show. You didn't hear that. But then you start getting DM'd about, did you hear this on Access Live? So, and that's happened a couple times. So whenever you get DM'd, and for whatever reason, people are busy, we have our lives, and we want to tune into every show, but when somebody DMs you, or a couple people DM you, you got to tune into Access Live right now, or something's going down. That's always a good thing. So, again, though, Dave, congratulations on everything. And I know we give shit to Eagle and Winkler, but, thanks to them too for helping you keep you straight on your at your show.
Yeah, that's true.
And do everything. And again, I appreciate every time you DM me and say, hey man, can you be on? I try not to ever say no to you. So
I like that attitude. All right, Greg, thanks for the kind words for me and the show. I appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks.
You got it. Let me go up to Benji Matson for a second. Benji's been kind of a regular. You were on a bunch, and then you were gone for a little bit, and then you've been on a bunch again. We love having you on the show. Everybody loves your voice and your stories and what have you. Tell me a story about your favorite moment of Access Live.
Sure, but first, I want to know if Gunny's going to record that Christmas song, 12 Days of Christmas.
We can get it recorded.
I think you should.
Okay.
I can just hear 5 golden sleeves. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the 12 Days of Glorious LSG Christmas.
Oh, snap. There you go.
Yeah, congrats, Dave, on the milestone. It's awesome. 2020 hasn't been a fabulous year for anyone. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the greatest things to me is that there have been 50 of these shows. That every Tuesday and Thursday, we all know what time the show starts. We're all watching the clock. And we look forward to the next show being on so we can gather with all of our friends. And that's what the league has become for me, entering my second season, a league full of friends. And Coach touched on it at the top about the Thanksgiving episode. Several of us have mentioned it. It's also my favorite because that was a difficult time for me with the passing of my pops. And I think that I was not sure that I had any room in the SFL anymore because it just was kind of like maybe not something I needed to be investing my time in. But then the Thanksgiving show rolled around, and I think that it was a nice reminder, as Coach mentioned, it helped hit the reset button. And yeah, we're here in a simulation football league, but it's the relationships we're building that mean the most. At least they do to me. So that's one of the things I really appreciate. So I do love that Thanksgiving episode. Always will. I think the one of the more memorable ones too was your invention of the Diva of the Week award, and then after week 1, of course, Bryant Dynasty wins the season opener at the Gun, and then wins the very first ever Diva of the Week award. I thought that was pretty awesome because we were all tuning in, wanting to know what this Diva of the Week award is going to be about, and it became a really cool part of the show. A good, nice segment. It's awesome. So I always think that first week of a Dynasty winning the award was also another standout episode. Oh, of course, my week too, when Winkler surprised us with that wonderful video too. So
yeah, that video will be famous forever. Absolutely. Benji, thank you for coming on. All the times you've been on and coming on tonight, and for sharing on the Thanksgiving show. Appreciate you.
Yeah, yes, thanks, Dave.
So speaking of friends, I'm going to bring in one of my lifelong friends. I served in the Marine Corps with this guy. We've been tight for 87. So damn, 33 years. Is that right, Robo? Holy crap. Bring him in. I brought him into the SFL. It took me a little while to bug him enough to get him in here, but yeah, Hugo, we're old farts. But Robo, come in and kind of talk to people about what you've kind of heard. I know you haven't probably heard all 50 shows because you came in later, but based on what you've heard, what are some of your favorite moments or something that stood out on the show for Access Live? What'd you say, Robo? Oh, I can't even say you're muted, bro, because you're not muted. Oh, he's having technical difficulties. I see the light coming on, but I can't hear him. All right, we'll come back to Bruce. Let me go to Dion. Dion, we haven't had you on the show very much. I think you've only been on 2 or 3 times, maybe. You were on one of the most popular episodes, I think, right, when we had all those OG guys. Oh, there we go, bro. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. We couldn't hear anything until right now.
Yeah, I'm not muted. What's going on?
I don't know. You weren't muted. I didn't mute you. I don't know. I'll talk to Tyler. Maybe he did it.
Not this time.
Okay. All right. Robo, go ahead. Well, Robo jumped off now. He's having some serious technical difficulties, so we'll get back to him. Dion, you've only been on a few shows, like I said, but you were part of one of the more popular shows that we had, which was the Old School Owners. Was that your favorite episode as well, or do you have something else you'd like to share about one of the first 50 episodes of Access Live?
Man, I was thinking this whole time, like, damn, he don't never call me. I ain't got shit to say. Somebody gonna say the only thing I got to say. But no, yeah, that actually is the one. Second time I've been on it, and I just like that it gives a platform. It's crazy we sitting here talking about it's the David Letterman show. It's been on for like 50 years. You just think it's only 50 episodes. So wait till when you get to like 100, like it's a.
Oh, Dion, you're going in and out. You're going in and out. You said something about 100. I hope you were talking about 100 episodes and not me being 100 years old.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that it's crazy that we're talking about all the content and everything that happened in 50 short episodes. Just think when you get to like 100 and 200,
yeah,
all the memories and everything, the contents, the arguments and everything that's going on in the league. But yeah, episode wide, I like the one that we did, like the newer owners versus the older owners. You can kind of see like the maturation of the league, and you get insights that a lot of people didn't know. Some even about the owners didn't even know about each other, like with any situation. And so I love that. It's just that it's kind of like just a group of people coming together and friends and just talking about a common thing we love, which is the SFL. So that was definitely one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, that was awesome, and I appreciated you coming on there, and I appreciate you supporting the show, Dion.
Already.
All right, thank you, bro. Robo, we got you back yet, or what?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. We couldn't hear anything before. Were you able to hear my question that I asked you?
I could hear you, but I think between my phone and my iPad being connected to the same show, it caused a conflict.
Look at Robo giving me extra views. That a boy. So tell me about something about Access Live that stands out to you.
No, I mean, much like everybody else has said, some of the shows like the Thanksgiving show and the Veteran show, which I was a part of, really meant a lot to me. But first of all, I just need to thank Pink Lisa for putting up with your ass, and And no joke, I told you, a while back when I first started in the SFL that you were good at this, and then maybe you found your calling. So you really have done a good job with the show, but not only that, but bringing people together. Just think about how many people on the show right now who probably never would know each other. We kind of have got to get to know each other. We got to know our teams. I appreciate everybody who dissed on Louisiana when I first started, and we rallied behind Gerald through Ross and Twin Screw and Jeff, and but it just brings a good family atmosphere. Maybe not family friendly, but a good family
Not after
atmosphere
dark, yeah.
that we can come together and have fun with this.
I appreciate the words, bro, and thanks for coming on tonight. I appreciate it, and thanks for waiting. I know you're waiting a while.
No, you're good.
That's all right. I'm going to go to Johnny in a moment, and then Nelson and AJ. And I appreciate Nelson and AJ coming on. Since they're also content creators, show hosts for other shows. And I think Dwayne popped in there too. So I'm going to get to everybody in a second. But before I get to you guys, I want to go to Mr. Bob Funk. Bob Funk is one of a few different people, along with Art Vandelay, and I think one more, and I'm missing off the top of my head, that always put these waiting gifts in the main chat of my show server or Access Live server, and it just cracks me up because they do it every single week. They do it every Tuesday. They do it every Thursday, like clockwork, without missing a beat. I think Guy Clausen was the other one, and so Bob Funk, I appreciate you having that level of commitment to the pre-show or the pre-party, if you will. Share something with me that in the crowd listening that stands out to you about the Access Live show over the last 50 episodes.
Well, so you know, I'm going to put that spanky GIF up every time.
I know you are.
I'm going to say my favorite show was, there's a couple. The Thanksgiving show, because everybody shared so much that episode. Eddie Gage went beyond everybody and shared so much, and I appreciate Eddie Gage for sharing all of that. And then my other moment would be when Benji won Diva of the Week and Wink making that video for him.
Video, yeah.
That video was classic. That video will live on
it was
forever.
Epic, absolutely epic. I agree with you. That was
so. Good. I guess those are my episodes, and then also the Veterans episode,
mm-hmm.
and the when you had all the season 15 rookies on a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that was good too.
Because I feel like that helped all the new rookies.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I love having shows like that where I have a bunch of rookies on. All right, Bob, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Dave.
All right. I'm going to go to the man who helped me start this whole thing way back when. I think it was like back in May or June of this year. We did 2 shows called The Weekly Heat. They both went 2.5 hours. They were a little edgy. They caused a little controversy. But to be honest with you, Johnny, it was a lot of fun, and it helped me get things kickstarted. So thank you for that, and thanks for being on the show tonight. What would you like to share about something with the first 50 episodes of Access Live?
Hey, can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. Yeah, man, the Weekly Heat was fun. Obviously, behind closed doors, the league said we can't support a show where Johnny's the host, so you're going to have to rebrand and take over, Dave. But yeah, no, man, I've always said you're a natural. It's crazy that it's been 50 episodes. Sorry, I would have listened to the whole show. I told you I've been on the road all day.
Yeah,
and
no worries.
Had to pull over to jump on here. But yeah, so many good shows. I'm sure people have talked about the Thanksgiving episode, the military episode. Those were 2 great ones. Obviously, as reigning Diva of the Year, me being the Diva of the Year episode was a great episode, culminating the season. Love the highlight tape there when I was Diva of the Week. So that was fun. But I've just loved sitting back. You know me, I'm probably one of the biggest supporters of content creators. I'm sure that the other content people can double back on that. just content like this, it adds such value to the league. I've loved sitting back and watching. I mean, you have great people on. I've loved just watching the show develop. I've watched, watching its structure just just come naturally. You've had so many great people, as analysts, on a weekly basis. I can't name their name, all their names. To name a few, well, got to name Gunny. Love Gunny's segment in the show, but Doug, Benji, Thomas, Frank, Chad, and all the guys I can't even think of. I mean, these guys they really dissect games. It's so fun to listen to. I mean, that's what makes it fun being a player, and it adds such value that you can go out there and perform however you're going to perform on the weekend, and that you're going to get some great analysts from these guys via your show on Tuesday and Thursday, and I love listening to everybody's point of views. Eddie, of course, has a lot to say. He always does. I mean, if Eddie spent as much time game planning as he did as he did as a guest on shows, then they might be in the playoffs. But
that's hilarious.
But man, yeah, no, overall, it's, I just love the show. You are natural. But love everybody who contributes to it. Eagle and Winkler do a great job behind the doors. I'll always be a supporter of content like your show. Whether people want to admit it or not, like, this adds such value to the league. All content, adds such value to this league. But especially this show, the 2 times a week, the structure, the way it brings everybody together, the comments, the after dark, the live show, the way you're doing it. If you were to strip this show away from the league, the value that it would take away from the league would be giant, whether people want to recognize that or not. So I'm glad that this isn't a finale episode, and that we're still kind of in the early stages, but it really makes it fun. It really makes being a player that much more worth it. I love it. I'll always be a supporter of it. So I appreciate every time you have me on, so I can hear my own voice, and just want to wish a special best of luck to all those rookies in the draft this weekend.
Thank you. Spoken like the true first diva of the year, Johnny. Appreciate all the kind words, bro. Appreciate the help, man. I appreciate you a lot.
Awesome, brother. I'm always here.
All right. I'm gonna move on. We only got a few more people left. We're gonna go to Nelson, and then I'll go to AJ, and then Dwayne, and then we'll wrap up with Tyler. And I think that covers everybody. If I didn't get to you, if I didn't say your name right now, DM me real quick, and I'll make sure I don't forget you. Nelson, welcome back on the show. It's been a minute.
What's up, Dave?
I appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate your show. I appreciate you plugging my show on your show. And I just appreciate the conversations that we've had. And I just want to know what you think is maybe your favorite moment of Access Live, or something you'd like to talk about from the first 50 episodes.
So yeah, I appreciate you right back, right? Like, I heard the plug, early in the show, and it's appreciated, right? Like, in this content team, that is involved with this league, I feel that we all, for the most part, have everybody's back and support, and AJU, Coach Craven. Like, I mean, everybody has been so supportive of one another's show that you can't help but tell everybody, thank you for that. So I appreciate you having me on for your 50th show. Very exciting. I know you're going to have 150 more. No worries. But again, I think for me personally, it's just seeing the growth that it, just like Johnny kind of talked about, the growth that you've been able to have, right? I've seen the show progress to what you have right now. I've seen Winkler grow as well. So, he's been such a huge part of your show. Seeing his growth and what you guys have been able to put out there for the league. And I think it gives the league credibility to see what the future can hold, right? Whatever that may be, but for your show itself to be such a centerpiece to the league, I think it's an attribute to what with the hard work and dedication you've done, right? I mean, this is not your first show, but you've mastered it so well that I'm very excited to see what your next 150 shows will end up being. And I think, again, when you first brought me on, I was still unrecognized in that sense, right? Like, a lot of people didn't know who I was as a general manager and whatnot. and you gave me that opportunity. You gave me a platform to speak, and I can say thank you. You also to AJ, right? AJ was my first interview. You guys gave me a platform to speak and build my brand and let people know who I was. So all I can really say is thank you. And I think what you do for the league goes far past just this show. I think you've given a lot of people opportunities to grow. The folks have joined your team. They all grown significantly. I mean, I remember when you first had Sim Scouts on here, and um, their all their growth and what they've been able to all do, expanding out into the league. And I just think you've been a real big centerpiece to a lot of people's successes. And just like how Johnny helped you out before, you've done the same thing to others. And I think that's why you have so many people tonight on your 50th, you know, show, that we want to show the same love you've shown to us for 50 shows or more. So appreciate it, man.
Wow, Nelson, really appreciate those kind words, bro. And for those of you who may not know, his show Friday nights at 9. And Nelson, are you adding a second show?
Yeah, so we added a second show with the signing of Benjamin Warner and Khalil Thomas. We created a second show, which is going to be on Mondays. It's a little bit more of folks can call in, interact, talk, very sports-like type of show, but it's from 10 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. It goes a little bit longer depending on the time, but we talk about anything that's going on right now. The other night that last night's show, we talked about the draft and free agencies, and we only got to the first 6 picks, but we talked about everybody's draft respectfully and kind of seeing the things that were in common, things that we may think differently in those situation or picks. So again, yeah, just trying to bring as much content as possible with you as well. And I think you said the other night, the way that everything's structured, I think we're able to really help the league always have some kind of content, with AJ and everybody else, and Tyler starting his show. So I'm very excited to see that in this upcoming season, what all of us are able to do and grow and still help this league build itself up even more.
Absolutely. We're going to have every night of the week covered pretty soon. Nelson, congrats on the new portion of your show. Congrats on the success of your first show. And thank you so much for coming on in your kind words tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, Dave.
Right,
you have a good night.
You too, Nelson. Thank you, bro. All right, let me get to. I know we talk about sexiest voice in the SFL with Coach and with Benji, but we got another runner in here. You guys all know her. She was she was doing this long before I was, and she even came on one of my shows and sang the national anthem for us. The one and only Ashley Jackson. AJ, how you doing, sweetie?
What is up, David? I knew I was going to do that.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew you were going to do that. Hey, AJ, so first of all, thanks for coming on tonight. I appreciate it. What stands out to you over the first 50 episodes of Access Live for you to share with the people listening?
What stands out to me is the fact that you were the first one to actually go live. When I normally do my shows, it's always recorded. That's because it's more convenient for me to do it that way, but it does bring a different element. It makes things more exciting, and people can be interactive, which is very important when you're trying to build a league and when you're trying to get those messages out there. And so you do a fantastic job of doing that, keeping everybody engaged. When you go through and you announce everybody's name in chat, as you know, everybody loves to hear their name called, whether it be on the field or just even having that recognition. You also make sure that you keep the show fresh and exciting, adding new panelists, having those fantastic voices that resonates within the league. And I think that is very important. And I just want to say more than anything that I am truly, truly, truly proud of you. And I wish you many, many, many more shows you're doing.
Thank you.
If you ever need me, you're welcome. Can you hear me? If
Yeah,
you ever need me, I'm definitely here for it.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
you cut out a little bit
one
at
of
the
my
end, but you
favorite
came back on,
moments.
so you're good. Go ahead. What was your favorite moment?
Well, I mean, when you introduced the Divas of the Week,
Yeah.
definitely. And of course, me being week 4's Divas of the Week
Of
does help.
course. Of course it does.
But also the Thanksgiving episode, your military episodes, and just finding a way to keep everybody involved, which is it can be difficult to do, especially during times like this. This COVID thing has got everybody locked up. You have nothing else to do with your time. But when everybody knows at 9 o'clock on Tuesdays and on Thursdays, Mr. Dave Axis is going to be on, and it's going to be live, and it's going to be lit. Something that everybody can count on. So thank you, Dave.
Oh,
Thank you for enriching this league with your content, and I wish you many more shows, brother.
thank you, AJ. I appreciate
You're
that, sweetie. I
welcome.
really do
Anytime.
appreciate the kind words. Um, and then also, AJ, do you want to real quick? I asked Nelson about his show. I'm losing track of
Mhm.
when you're putting out shows. Hey, hey, oh, and real quick,
Okay.
I'm sorry, but real quick, hey Eagle, can you take care of that issue in the chat real quick, please? If you can, if you're looking at it, or I don't know if Tyler can do it. I think Eagle's the only one who can do it. AJ, go ahead, sweetie.
Yeah. So right now, since the draft is upon us, my shows are a little bit closer. Normally, I post on Thursdays, after yours, but I kind of felt like I was kind of stifling you, and people wanted to come on Dave, after dark, and wanted to talk, and I felt like you were kind of rushing your content. So that's why I decided to go ahead and put it at 6 o'clock on Thursdays, as opposed to it around 10. But when it's draft time, I try to get as many rookies recognized as possible by having those rookie interviews, because I like for owners and GMs to truly see who they're adding to their locker room. And when you have in depth conversations with people, you get to kind of feel them out. You know who they are before you even talk to them. So right now, everything is going to be kind of like, I have a podcast tonight, I have a podcast tomorrow, just trying to promote all the rookies. But it's going to, normally it's going to be on Thursday nights around 6 o'clock. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, all right, good. I didn't know if you were doing a show every night of the week lately, or what was going on. I was like, wait, was it? Did I already listen to that one, or is that another one? All right.
I need to start marking my shows like you do, how you mark everything, every episode. I need to start doing that the same.
You might have to. You might have to. All right, AJ, thank you so much
But
for coming
thanks, Dave.
on, and thank you for all those kind words. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome,
All right.
dear. Have a good one.
You too, AJ. I'm going to go next to, I only have two people left, so it looks like we'll be wrapping this up here in a few minutes. Dwayne is on, has been very patient. Dwayne, thanks for being so patient and for coming on again tonight. I know you've been on a few of the After Dark episodes previously, but let the people listening know, maybe some highlights for you of the last 50 shows, or something else that you, about the 50 shows that you want to talk about.
Well, thanks so much, Dave. Congratulations on 50 shows. You had me on the second show, and I really enjoyed that. And it was around this time of the season with the draft and analyzing draft and taking some questions from the community and the panelists. And uh, from the very get-go, you had something special, because the mock drafts and the analysis that we did on those first couple of shows, it just blew my mind at how in-depth that really was. And I just really have loved your format. But I think the really important thing and the special thing to me about your show is, it's been a crazy year this year, and we've had some ups and downs in the league as well. And we didn't have a convention this year, which was a big thing. That was a loss of a sense of a gathering place for the community. And you came in and you filled that void in a great way. I mean, you've given you have segments that's a little bit of everything. Some humor, some hot topics, some the regular what's going on last week, what's happening this week, odds making, you just so much different stuff. The Diva of the Week, that I think the stuff that I remember the most. I mean, I like the fact that we had a couple of Diva of the Week winners in St. Louis, but the stuff I really like about your show is when you do get people to open up and show different sides of themselves. I mean, you've given a platform for rookies and owners and GMs and players, and meeting people and hearing about prospective franchise owners and all that. Just so many things that I've learned about people, or so many people that I met in the community that, even at being here for about 5 years myself, I hadn't really had an opportunity to see and hear from that many different voices. And so like the shows that you do, like the Thanksgiving show and the veteran show, and when you had Stack Up on, or even when you've had like staff members on, and they can talk about their job, or like the owner show was with the veteran owners was so great, and all the history uh, that brought up, and that's the sort of stuff that we love to talk about our teams. But there's if you haven't been in the league for more than like a few months, you don't know anything about all this background that the league has had. And I just think that it's an important pillar stone of our community right now. And I hope you have 500 more, Dave. Congratulations.
All right, Dwayne, thank you very much for those kind words. Really appreciate them, and appreciate your input and what you add to the show when you come on After Dark. Appreciate you, bro.
All right. Love you, Dave.
Thanks, man. All right, I think I've gotten to everyone except for Mr. Tyler Falk. I saved him last on purpose because Tyler has a new show coming out that's going to start next Wednesday. We talked about it on this show, I think last week, called NETMA. Nobody ever tells me anything is the acronym, and it's going to start next Wednesday. So I wanted to plug that for Tyler. I hope all of you go over there and listen to his show, just like you support Nelson and Coach and AJ and myself, of course. But Tyler, you've only been here for a minute. I know I don't even remember what number show you started on, but you came in with a bang, and it seems like you've been here ever since. So in the short time you've been here, what do you think about the show?
Yeah, coming in the later half of your show's current lifespan. I remember my first time coming on. I remember want to say it was like episode 31. I didn't come on as a regular panelist. I came in the After Dark to ask a couple of panelists a question, and ever since then, you said, "Hey, you want to be a panelist?" I was for I want to say it was not for a playoff game, but it was for like I think week 9 or 10 of the regular season, just breaking down games. And said, "Hey, do you mind if I throw in a SFLm segment?" And you said, "Yeah, well, we've got something going on, but yeah, if you want to throw something in there." And I think that's where it all started. And I have been very fortunate to be time and time again back on this show, back on your show. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for giving me a space to just be me, and for you to allow a young gun like myself to be this so well involved. This words are hard. Words are very hard. So, but no, a couple of favorite moments definitely. Veterans Day, the Military Appreciation Day, Thanksgiving, hearing everyone's stories, hearing how everyone's been doing, how everyone's, we are a family. The SFL is a family, and this is a fantastic place to come together as a family. It was mentioned earlier that the conference was canceled, and you became the place where everyone gathered. And
Hey, Vassir, have you seen any of the new GTA, like any of the new heists?
I
Do
think
you see
AJ.
what it actually starts, like how it starts?
Hey AJ, who are you talking to? Hold on, there you go. All right, go ahead.
Amazing.
That's okay. I muted her. Tyler, go ahead, please.
All right, there we go. No, and then for it to just take off, because for me, I didn't expect to be this involved, this to be this prevalent on your show, even to be one of the voices for the SFLm. I didn't expect it to go that route, and for you to say, hey, like having you on, here's what we've got, and we've been communicating back and forth, and I can't thank you enough for having me on.
No, I mean I appreciate you being on, Tyler. You bring a lot to the show, just like everybody else does, and you were a nice little breath of fresh air for the show. And you know what? The minor league needed some more attention. They needed some more voice, and you came in and helped us out and gave that to them. So, good timing all the way around, and we love having you on and hope you'll stick around.
I will. Thank you, Dave.
Awesome. All right, Tyler, thanks for coming on, bro. That is going to wrap up this 2-hour episode 50 of Axis Live. I want to thank each and every one of you that have been in the chat all night long. Again, the interaction, talking back and forth, talking amongst yourself, the jokes, the comments. I mean, you guys are quick. Anything that happens on the show, man, boom, you guys are all over it. Just like AJ a few minutes ago jumping on there. You guys were already all on there. Harish, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. And Chucky B, you too. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all the panelists. I know a bunch of them had to leave. Let me see if I get everybody. I know Coach, Eddie, Frank, Dynasty, Ross, Eagle, Soto, Benji, Robo, Dion, Bob Funk, Johnny, Nelson, AJ, Dwayne, Tyler, Nacho had to bounce. I feel like somebody else had to bounce too that I can't think of. And of course, the love of my life, Lisa was on as well. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Thank you for tuning in all the time. A couple quick things right before we sign off. A couple show notes. This Thursday is going to be our draft special. We've got some big things in store. We got new draft boards. We're going to have some guests on, so be ready for our draft special on Thursday. Next Tuesday, we'll have our draft recap. Same thing. We'll have a bunch of people on, and we're gonna invite some draftees on the show as well. There will be no show next Thursday on Christmas Eve. We'll do our holiday special show on Tuesday the 29th. There will be no show on the 31st, New Year's Eve, and then the first show will be the 5th of January for 2021, and we can finally say goodbye and put 2020 in our rearview mirror. So, again, thank you to everybody who was on the show. Thank you to everybody who's been listening to the show. I will see you Thursday night right here on Twitch, 9 p.m. like we all know. In the meantime, have a glorious night, have a glorious Wednesday, and I'll see you at the tees.